Hello and welcome to Sacred Journey. Each week, people share their real-life stories, how they transform their pain into their passion and their life's work. Welcome. This is Anya, and this is the From Pain into Passion and Prosperity podcast and YouTube video series. And I have a very special guest here with me, Irene. Sorry, it's going to take me a second. It's Andrejczuk.
Yes.
Andrejczuk. Irene Andrejczuk. I've known you for a few years now, and she's a remarkable person. She's done so much with her life, and she has the classic kind of story where you have taken so many, like what people would be considering negative things in your life, and made them into something really powerful and positive. So welcome, Irene. It's so amazing to be able to talk with you. You're like one of my favorite people. You're just an absolutely wonderful, resilient, amazing person.
Well, thank you so much, Anya, for having me in that beautiful introduction. I'm really delighted and honored to be here and that this opportunity arose.
What do you do so many different things? What do you classify yourself as? Like, what do you brand yourself as, or whatever? Because you have so many skills and talents. I mean, it's kind of like, wow.
I guess primarily I would see myself as someone who helps women heal from the inside out, so that they can live a life more full of joy, vitality, and optimum health.
And this is based on a lot of experiences that you've had throughout your life. And thank you so much for being here to share them with us, because sometimes people listen to other people's stories and you read them in newspapers and things like that, and you're like, how could a person have gone through all those things and still be the person that they are? I mean, you're smiling, you're happy, you thrive. And so I'm just gonna, if you don't mind, I'll just dive into the first question, because I really want to, I want to share this incredible person that you are with the people that are going to be listening to and viewing this. So the first question I have for you is, what do you see as the gifts of learning and that you gain from the challenges that you've faced, and how do you use them now to help people in what you do?
Okay, so yes, that's basically my story. It began back in 2004, actually, when my brother passed away most unexpectedly in his sleep. And I being the only daughter, it was really became a very dark period in my life, losing him so unexpectedly and having to be so stoic and strong at the same time for my mother. And so that led me to really health and wellness. I could not continue living in such a dark period and not feeling any joy in my life, and it became physically it started to manifest on a very physical level for me in terms of my health. And I went through all those, normal hormonal imbalances that women can go through, but probably on a much more deeper level. And so I had to find a way to heal. And I just decided, that's it, I'm going to do that. And wasn't going to live like this any longer. So I was at a job that was, it was very, it was serving my needs and fulfilling me. But then with the loss and having my mother and having to take care of that, I realized I can't do that anymore. So I started to study more in health and natural wellness and became a certified naturopath. And then took that giant leap of faith, left a very secure, paying job of 27 years of teaching in order to leave myself, in order to take care of myself, but also be able to take care of others and open up my own practice as a naturopath.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you really followed your heart on that one. That's incredible.
I did. I really, really did. That was what saved me, was by listening to my heart. I realized, maybe not at that moment, because I was in a dark period for many, many years after his loss. And I realized that if I followed my heart, it could not steer me wrong, and I would be guided in the right direction. And I always knew that my brother was the wind beneath my wings, and I knew that he was still there and guiding me in order to move forward, go on my life, and not feel that pain and that grief and that sorrow of losing him. And in order to be able to be there for my mother in a much better way as well.
Mm-hmm. So
So
you've picked up all these skills, like all these coping, like not just coping, but thriving mechanisms. I'd rather call it that, because coping is kind of like just, maintaining a bit of a flat line, but thriving techniques and things like that, to be able to go up and down through like all of these life journeys that we all have to go through, parental. And your mother became ill with something that you actually ended up writing a book on. Is that correct?
yes, that is correct. She was diagnosed in 2013 with dementia at the age of 89, approximately 9 years after my brother had passed. And that's what inspired me to write about that journey. So that, about caregiving.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, how did you, like, I'm curious, and I'm sure other people would want to know, how did you keep going? How did you manage to get yourself out? Like, you lost your brother in a freak kind of tragic thing that happened. It came out of the blue, and then not that much long after that, your mother becomes ill and stuff like that. What if I don't want it to diminish it in any way? It's horrible to go through something like that, but you somehow, how did you manage to get yourself through it? Like, what did you do?
Well, I truly feel that what doesn't break you only makes you stronger and wiser and true to the essence and spirit of your own true identity.
Mm-hmm.
So when I face hardships or struggles in my life, there's a fire that it really ignites in me now so that I can shine even brighter. So when there's a crack and darkness, it only means that the light will shine through. And that's what I've come to believe. So I accept things for what they are. This is my beautiful Celeste just decided to join us.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's a beauty. I basically learned to, yes, as I would say, to accept things as they are and not resist them. Come what may. I may make it sound like this is easy. No, it's not. But I guess I've learned to live in the now, and because yesterday is gone. And so I live in the now, and I do this by trying to maintain a positive mindset, and I practice daily self-care. This has led me to what I believe a form of self-love when you practice self-care. And self-love is crucial, absolutely crucial in order to heal from any kind of trauma or pain that one may go through. And that keeps me now energetic and joyful and healthy in body, mind, and spirit.
That's beautiful. It's so powerful too, because so many people out there suffer through things, and some people are never actually able to entirely let something go. To have someone who's been through what you've been through, and obviously you walk your talk because you get through it, and you're able to thrive through all of these things. It must inform your work in such an amazing way that you can help people to find that in themselves, and to be able to weather the storms in that life inevitably will, it'll come across our experience. And your book, What was it that inspired you to write your best-selling book, and how did you come up with the format? It's you mentioned it earlier briefly when I spoke with you, and it sounds very fascinating. Could you please give us a little information about that?
Certainly. For me, the book, Caregiving, A Journey of the Heart, is stories to feed the spirit and nourish the soul. It was a calling. Like I mentioned, when my mother was first diagnosed in 2013, I knew that my path has changed now again. I didn't understand where it would lead me. I didn't really need to. I just knew that it was changing. And I tried to ignore this voice inside of me, but it was only getting louder and screaming and screaming. I'm not a writer. I didn't want to.
Hmm.
But I knew that I would have to write about this journey with my mother, because I wanted to be able to inspire anyone and everyone who may go on a similar journey or become a caregiver, to be able to, if they need to, know how to, if they feel like they're at the end of the rope, that they would know how to tie a knot and hang on. And
Wow.
that's what kept me going. And so when you asked about the format and that, I then realized, well, I'll take it one step further. It won't just be my journey or my story. I'll reach out to others, and make it an anthology. And so what has manifested and has now given birth, as of July of this year, being on Amazon, the book with 8 other co-authors and their stories. So that was how I really wanted to have others be able to share their journey, their story, to be able to help someone else, because every journey is different. But maybe they can learn from all of us who are living that or who have lived through that experience.
I guess in a way, it also would help tremendously knowing that you're not alone in what you're going through. Like when a person's grieving, when a person's in distress or whatever, I know from my own experiences, I felt like nobody in the world would be anywhere near going through what I'm going through. No one would understand me. And your book, especially being an anthology like that, it has different people with slightly different experiences to share with the world. Like, look how many of us are going through this. And this is just a handful of people, but like it's a global thing. We all go through these things. And like your work is so powerful in that it helps a person to navigate through these waters, and because it can be treacherous and scary as anything, because you really feel like your entire world is been pulled out from under your feet when something like that happens.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Absolutely. I can say for myself that those feelings, oh yes, when this happened to my mother and she had that diagnosis, oh my God, the feelings of anger were so raw. And why my mother? And why? And then the frustration and knowing that I would be in a completely different role now in my life, and I don't have the experience, she always took care of me,
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. But it's not something you need to train for. We are incredible beings with the capacity to just know what to do if we follow our intuition, our gut feeling. There is really no right or wrong answer to caregiving, or what's right, what's wrong, what's the best thing to do for your loved one. You just, you follow your gut, you follow your intuition. Yes, you definitely need a support system. You are so true. You are so right when you say, it's important to know that you're not alone. And that was another reason why I wanted to write the book. There were times I did feel that way, but again, with my own, I guess, inner strength, which I get from my mother, most definitely, that I realized that no, I wasn't going to be defeated.
Wow.
and this journey with her wasn't going to defeat me. So I just twisted it completely around to an incredible blessing and the ability to have her and to spend every moment with her that I can, and to watch her still smile and have that alertness and be there and touch me and hold me and call my name, even though she doesn't speak, but she still says my name. It's beyond anything that, no, I wouldn't wish it on anyone,
No,
but
of course
but if you are faced with that,
not. Hmm.
don't look at it as a it's a gift. It's nothing more but a pure gift.
And the amazing thing with the way you respond to the person, because there's still some of them there. If a person comes in with a lot of anxiety and hostility or whatever, not hostility, but whatever it is that they're experiencing, negative emotions, tension and things like that, it'll register, and the person will feel more uncomfortable and perhaps be more inclined to exhibit more of the negative symptomology or whatever of whatever condition they have. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, oh, absolutely. The belief, or maybe I think it's a myth that if they have dementia or even Alzheimer's, that
Hmm.
they really don't know who you are.
Mm.
I think that's a myth.
Hmm.
Um, the presence, the visits have made a tremendous difference in her physical health. And this is given to me and told to me directly by her doctors and the nurses that are primarily there when I'm not, and are always there at the
Yeah.
home for her, because it's now a 24/7
Yeah.
kind of care home. And yes, she knows, they know. I
Hmm.
see that in the other residents. I mean,
Hmm.
they know when there's somebody's there, and
Yes.
it's been proven that, the touch of the hand, a hug, a
Hmm.
smile, music, all of that
Hmm.
makes a tremendous difference in their overall general health and well-being.
It's I know I for a time I worked in a seniors home here in Toronto, well, when I was in Toronto, and I could see a huge difference in the seniors, the people that were there, that had people visiting them regularly, and the ones who didn't. And when it's such a even though the person isn't necessarily, I don't want to say cognitive, I don't know what the right word is, able to express, um, but verbally, there's nonverbal cues that are very powerful. You can see the ease in the shoulders and a whole bunch of different things that happen with a person when they're meeting someone who cares about them and who responds to them. Even if they can't speak verbally to them, you can feel a communication somehow on some level. And it
Oh,
really does make a huge difference.
yes, yes, it does. Yes, it does. I really must say that it does. I visit her. She's in Winnipeg and I'm in
Hmm.
Montreal. So there's been that challenge of navigating that care even from another province.
Hmm.
But when I'm there, and I stay about 6 to 8 hours a day, and I feed her now, and I've been with her through the entire journey, and I've seen the progression. But
Hmm.
I would also say that I really don't know where she would be if I did not go.
Hmm.
I must say that I don't think she'd be at the same um, place. And she's in a very, very, very happy place.
That's amazing. It's beautiful because I mean sometimes it does happen to people, and there's nothing much, at least not yet medically, we can do for them, but to make a quality of life for them as high as possible makes a huge difference. I mean, I know from personal experience that seeing the people that didn't have visitors come, they were, and I know the staff would say the same thing. They were very morose a lot of the time, were very angry, hostile, and stuff like that. I'm just like, even though they're not articulating it very clearly or they have the ability to, they still process the information that they are not being visited. Everyone else has, attention and stuff like that. It's human, right? And even though, yeah, they may be fettered by some, cognitive process dysfunction or whatever, they're still human. They're still people in there, kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Without question.
I'd like to ask, what kind of services do you offer now, as far as, because you have so much experience and wisdom with all the things that you've been through. And I'd love to I know people would probably be asking, like, I would love to get to know more about how you stay so, positive and stuff. I guess maybe it's that analogy of taking that proverbial air mask first and putting it on your ear, to the self-love and stability inside
Yeah.
yourself, and then help others. Anyway, a little bit of digression. What services do you offer? Because I'm sure there'd be people that would love to find out more about you and about your book as well, please.
Well, yes, some of the services that I offer, as a naturopath, which is a big umbrella, falls under a big umbrella of many different ways to help someone overcome their obstacles or their struggles. So I offer clinical nutrition advice, lifestyle modifications or changes. I can help. I'm also as a weight loss coach. I can help someone with that. I am a yoga practitioner, so I can incorporate yoga as well as meditations into the overall treatment plan, which is which is always, in fact, very individualistic and for that client in terms of where they're at and where they want to go and end up. So I offer that. I'm also an NLP practitioner, so I can work with, I do that as well, and a Reiki master. And so the energy, as an energy healer. And then, yes, now, most recently, I've become an author.
Yes.
So, with the book, yeah.
So it sounds to me like, from what you're saying, you really can help a person. I don't want to say the word attack necessarily, it's the one that's coming up, to deal with or work through all different levels: physical, mental, spiritual, everything, dietary. Even with the naturopathy, you can also help them with vitamins and herbs or whatever it is, that kind of stuff. You would really fundamentally shift, or help that person fundamentally shift, as long as they follow whatever it is that you're saying. And naturopathy is a very powerful tool. I know it helped me go through a journey through cancer and get rid of it. So that stuff is really potent.
Yes, it actually, if they follow their plan, it can be most transformative. Most transformative. The key is to be compliant, of course, and be willing and ready. I can only guide. I can't do more than that. I can guide and support, but you have to be ready and willing.
And how do you, for actual clients, do you see them online? Is it through?
I generally via Skype. Yes, absolutely. I Skype with clients. I can also see them in person at my home office. So yes, that has been how I have been working with them. They seem to enjoy being able to consult from the comfort of their own home.
Yeah, exactly. It's wonderful to have an amazing person who's got so many skills, but to actually have to take the time out of your schedule, especially if you have kids or, very long work hours or something like that, it's tough to get away from it. But to have that option of being able to do it via Skype is fantastic. Okay. So, we'll post this obviously in the comments with both the podcast and the video, but just briefly, how can people get in touch with you to find out about your services or your book?
Yeah, one of the ways would be on Facebook, just with my name, Irene Andrejczuk, ANDREJCZUK. They can find me on Facebook, or email me at irene@optimumhealthclinic.ca. optimumhealthclinic.ca. That's also the address of my website, and they can email me from my website, and the book is also on the website.
And it's also on Amazon, right?
It's also on Amazon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I find you so incredibly inspiring. I know you've been through. That's my dog in the background. I know that you've been through a lot, and it's funny because the more people I meet that are like you and that have been through things, it creates something that is unique and very, sorry about the dog barking, that's very powerful and unique and very talented. It brings a level of understanding and compassion that I'm not saying nobody else has, but it's certainly like, it really brings it out of a person. And I know you have a huge compassionate side to you, and you have a wonderful sense of humor as well, because I do know you as on a personal level as well. And I think you're just a wonderful, amazing person. You have a very steady, comforting presence. You're grounded, and you're you know, you're a tremendous gift to us all. Thank you so for all the stuff that you've been through. I want to thank you because you've brought this beautiful wisdom and these beautiful gifts to the world, and you share it with us. So thank you for that.
And I thank you, Anya. Thank you so much. Bless you.
Same to you. So this has been the this has been the From Pain into Passion and Prosperity podcast and YouTube series. I want to thank our very special guest, Irene Andrejczuk, so much for sharing her time with us. And I am so grateful to know people like you. Thank you so much. And yeah, her contact information will be at the bottom of the screen for you. So if you want to get into contact with her, by all means, please do. She's extremely talented. So thank you again. And yeah, may all the divine holds in its heart for you and for all of us come true so far beyond what we could ever dream of or imagine in miraculous ways.
Absolutely, Anya. You got it.
And namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.